There we go. Today's little sermon. I just want to talk about nerves, fear, terror, all the things that are natural experiences inside the human body when we are doing something that is bigger than our current capacity. Entrepreneurship is such a funny thing. I remember so clearly and so vividly when I was 19 years old and dropped out of college to start my first business, or no, I guess I was just 20, and I could see the vision so clearly. I knew what I had to do. I thought it would be easy. And then I started to take the steps towards the thing that I wanted to create in my life. And it was a lot harder than I had anticipated. There was a lot more resistance that I would have to constantly persevere through due to the unconscious belief systems, my family not believing in me because there'd never been an entrepreneur come through my lineage before. And so it was like there was all these obstacles, internal and external, that I had to figure out to get to where I am today, 20 years later. And fear is one of the things that are just an absolute constant in this journey, especially when we're learning new skills or we're transitioning or transforming the business into something new that comes from a spark of inspiration, but we've never done it before. And last week I played in a pro golf tournament. And I remember back about 8 years ago when I turned pro, my anxiety going into a tournament, standing on the first tee, was like an 8 out of 10 on how much anxiety I felt. It was like to the point of almost blackout nerves. It took all of my concentration to stay focused on my breathing so that I would actually hit the golf ball when I was swinging. And then last week, fast forward, I don't know, 50, 60 plus pro tournaments, and my nerves were so calm. It was like a 2 out of 10 on anxiety. I felt very relaxed and confident, and I hit the ball straight down the middle off the first tee, which for me, the first few holes were always the hardest when competing professionally. And it just kind of shows that with time, those nerves get subsided. So it doesn't matter whether it's pro golf, it doesn't matter whether it's delivering your signature workshop for the first time or the 10th time. It doesn't matter if it's, when I used to teach 500 meditation workshops, there was always this like anxiety I would feel in the afternoon leading up to the evening experience. It was always there. And I was teaching 3 or 4 days a week, and it was always with me. And even something like reaching out cold to find partners. So many people might maybe listening or watching this in the future hold themselves back from the outreach because of the anxiety, the fear of rejection, the fear of failing, the fear of looking stupid, the fear of succeeding, whatever the fear might be, prevents us from actually doing the thing that we know we need to do to move forward. And it keeps us in the same place we are in. And the thing is, here's the thing, is we can't have our dreams now. We can't have our dreams in our current state of being. We can see the vision, but we're not who we need to be in order to have the dreams come to fruition in this moment. That's the journey that we're on. That's the mountain we're all climbing, is becoming the us that we need to be in order to receive the abundance, in order to facilitate the transformations, in order to communicate clearly with the people who are going to be buying what it is that we're selling. And that's the entrepreneurial journey, is like inspired idea plus action equals transformation plus persistence equals success. That's the math equation that I've figured out on my journey, is like that is what it really takes. And the more steps we take up the mountain, the less the anxiety attacks us and keeps us down. And the anxiety is an interesting thing because it's also a performance enhancer. It makes us so present to the moment and so hyper aware to everything that is happening that it can actually make us perform better if we're willing to move through it. And I've seen too many people over the years who feel the anxiety and fear, and they're allowing that to dictate themselves from not actually taking the action of like, I'll do this when I feel better about it, or I must not be ready because I feel this fear. I'll do the thing when the fear is gone, but the fear won't be gone until we've done the thing over and over and over and over and over again. And we've built that capacity inside of ourselves to be able to hold that space. And that's ultimately what we're all trying to do here. And that's why if we want to become a well-known teacher, we need to be teaching as often as possible. If we want to become a successful entrepreneur, we need to be taking more action. We need to be putting ourselves in front of more people. And the anxiety that we feel as we do that is just a natural byproduct of stretching our current capacity into the versions of ourselves that we have to become in order to succeed in the things that we're trying to do. And so wherever we are on the mountain right now is perfectly perfect. It's exactly where we're supposed to be. And it's just an important thing of like, what is the next ledge that I'm trying to climb to? And how do I actually feel about that internally about this climb? Do I have to learn a new skill? Do I need to figure out a new tech? Do I have to hire somebody? All of those things are probably anxiety inducing if they are the first time that we've done the thing. And what's beautiful about what we have here inside of the Majik Mind is we're connected to a group of people who chances are at least one or some of us have been there and done that and can talk about the journey of getting to that next ledge. And it's important to surround ourselves with people who are climbing the to the next ledge. And personally, I have done a lot of my entrepreneurial journey more solo because I'm surrounded by mostly, farmers and people that are doing trades. Like that's a lot of my friendship circle. And so I've had to figure all this shit out kind of in the isolation chamber of my own imagination and actions. But I feel like for me, entrepreneurship has trained me to become a better pro golfer, and pro golf has trained me to become a better entrepreneur because both of them force me to grow and expand and be present and use all of the tools in my tool belt to deal with the anxiety or the stress that is a natural byproduct of climbing the mountain and stepping into the vision that I personally hold of who I want to be and what I want to do in the world. And again, I can't have what I want until I've stretched myself enough to hold that container to show up in my life. And I've learned the necessary skills. Like what we're doing with Magic Kids, I wouldn't have been able to run what we're running right now or understand how to do strategic partnerships, how to do licensing, how to produce world-class content, how to partner with artists so they feel like they're winning the game. All these things, there's no way I could have done those things if it was not for the 17 prior years of building, creating, and figuring this stuff out to be able to have all those skills and understandings to be able to do what we're doing right now. And the same goes for every single person here. So whatever your next milestone is that you're trying to strive towards, whether it's a financial goal, whether it's a goal number of clients or number of workshops you're going to teach, whatever it is, that is the next stretch that you have to go through. And if you're feeling nervous or anxious, I would just say if procrastination creeps in, call it out while you see it and move through it. Let yourself feel the anxiety. Let yourself feel the terror that might be under the surface. Explore it, get curious about it, and then do the thing that you know you need to do anyways. And the best thing that's going to happen is you're going to grow and you're going to stretch that capacity sooner rather than later so that you can get to that final destination you're all trying to climb to. And that is my story today. That comes from my experience last week of just like seeing where I'm at and knowing that I'm growing and evolving as I go. And that's it's a wonderful thing to get to see that inventory. And there's no better for me, no better stage to see where I'm actually at than playing in a pro tournament and playing well. So just great. Hopefully that's helpful. So whatever your thing is, write down what is the next ledge that you're climbing to, the next milestone up the mountain that you're trying to get to with your business, and how do you really feel about that? And then spend some time later today or this week just getting curious about the feelings and what's under the surface. What are the voices at the back of your head that you might not necessarily hear unless you're really paying attention? What are they saying about it? Thanks for the roomy poem here, The Guest House. This
Oh
being
yeah, I
human
love
is a
that.
guest house. Every morning, a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness, some Momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all. Even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture, still treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. Beautiful.